Hello and welcome to lesson 3 of the Affiliate Marketing for Business course. In this lesson, we're going to look at types of affiliate and how to work with them. I'm your teacher, Elliot Myers. You can pause the presentation here to find out more about me. So, over this lesson, what I want to stress and introduce you to is the most valuable way of managing an affiliate and or influencer or partner program, whatever it may be. And the approach is one that is holistic. Now, you can see on the left-hand side, I've created a marketing funnel. I'll just run through that quickly. It has a see element, a think element, a do element, and lastly, care. So see pertains to brand awareness. Think, where there's education or more information around the brand or product that a consumer may be seeking out to inform their decision to purchase. The buy section, where the consumer is now ready to make a purchase, or there's media that can help close that purchase. And care is anything that can help the consumer to buy again or make another purchase in the future. Now, you can see there are 4 different affiliate types that are able to service the marketing funnel. We have Google Shopping at the brand awareness element. Then we have a blogger at the education element, cashback at the buy portion, and then a referral affiliate at the loyalty part. So in this example, somebody could be browsing the internet and typing shoes, and in the Google Shopping feed, in the Google Shopping ads, there may be an affiliate running ads for a shoe brand, and they have appeared there, and the customer has now found this pair of shoes. The customer may then want to go and find out more about what makes the shoes so great, or maybe they want to have a review on them. So they may check out a blogger who's working with that brand. They then may want to go and purchase. However, they may be an avid cashback user, or maybe they want to have just something to sweeten the deal. Maybe that they're having a toss-up between 2 or 3 pairs of shoes, and it could be that the brand that is offering cashback in the first place, or maybe a more attractive cashback rate, is able to close that sale because they've got an incentive that other brands don't have, making them more competitive. And then after the purchase, the customer then may be able to share a special code, which will give them, say, £5 off their next purchase. They can share that with their friends, who also get £5 off if they make a purchase. So that last step basically converts the customer into an affiliate in their own right, and can help brands tap into word of mouth, and also encourage people that have already purchased to buy again if they encourage their friends to do so. So the benefits of the holistic approach, as I've just mentioned, affiliates can support all the elements of the funnel if you structure your program. It's very important that you understand that it's up to how a brand structures their affiliate program. That will determine how well it's able to service different elements of the funnel and what the results are going to be. So really, it's all about your strategy and how you structure things. So on to further benefits. So in terms of budget, each partner in the funnel can operate on a CPA only basis. And that includes Google Shopping. Affiliates will bid on a cost per click metric, but a brand will only pay when they convert. Some bloggers can work on a purely commission, likely with a sample basis as well. Cashback on a CPA, and referral can operate on a CPA as well. So you could operate this whole user journey on a paid and results model. So in terms of scale, diversification can have brands that target different customer types and fulfill a variety of needs. So you may have different funnels for different customer types. And it's about understanding that some customers want to purchase with a voucher code, some want to purchase without one, some will happily purchase for a blogger review. It's about making sure that you've got coverage across all affiliates, so that different consumer types that have a propensity to utilize or make a purchase decision based off of whether it be an incentive or not an incentive. It's about making sure you're able to service this diverse audience through working through a diverse array of affiliates. Now, everything in this journey would be trackable on a click basis. Any affiliate network or SaaS platform, or an in-house solution a brand can make themselves, can track right from click down to conversion, and then onto referral again. And then, yeah, just tips really. I just think about how affiliates can target desirable audiences and service, your whole marketing funnel. Right, so we're going to go through various affiliate types. The slide structure will remain the same, funnel, how they add value, and advised ways of working. I'm going to focus more so on the funnel element. And I'll likely touch on advised ways of working, but you can, of course, pause, and I encourage you to revisit this lesson in particular when you are structuring and setting the strategy for each of your affiliate types across your affiliate marketing channel. And again, I just can't stress enough, there are loads of different affiliate types, and it's really down to you as a brand how you structure and work with affiliates in a way that is value adding for your brand. You don't just have to do voucher codes on an affiliate program. There's loads of things that you can do, and I hope this lesson really opens up the eyes to brands to see that affiliate is really diverse, and there are lots of different ways that you can derive value from the channel if you have the right strategy and structure. So I've lumped influencers, bloggers, and vloggers together. At the brand awareness point, they're very well suited to introduce brands to their community. So influencers could do a post that appears in the user's newsfeed. Bloggers can write articles that help rank on SEO, and vloggers can create video content. I want to point out that YouTube is the world's second largest search engine. So definitely don't sleep on YouTube. Get involved with vloggers if you can. Get involved with bloggers as well. They can complement your SEO strategy, advise them on what keywords to write about, etc. And if you're trying to dominate a particular niche or product segment, you want to have bloggers writing content that will rank when people query those things. And yes, influencers as well, very important. Don't just limit yourself to Facebook and Instagram. There are things like Triller, TikTok as well, Snapchat, Twitter, and Reddit as well. Reddit is a massive social platform. So definitely the point here that there's diversity within the diversity. You can work with a diverse array of affiliates, and also within those affiliates, there are also different ways of working with them and different subcategories and sections. So there's lots for you to consider and to leverage when thinking about how you want to structure your affiliate program. So anyway, onwards back to the marketing funnel. So introduce brands to their community, education. They can do reviews. At the buy, they have influence. They can say, hey, go and buy this product, or go try this brand out because I really like it. Where they add the most value is all three types can work as ambassadors, whereby they constantly promote a brand on a long-term basis. I encourage all brands to work with them on this basis. Paying per post or for short-time promotion, you may see a spike in sales, and that's about it. But if you work with any of these types on an ongoing basis, then you get a nice steady sales curve, and you get longer-term value. And also, it's less risk, because if you were to pay £10,000 for a post and it only drove 1,000 in revenue, you just sunk that 10,000. You've lost 9K. Whereas if you were to spend 10,000 over the course of a year to salary an influencer, and then supplement that with a commission aspect as well, so there's a performance element to it, then you may well make 20,000 or 50,000 or whatever it may be. But you've got a lot more time to basically recoup the cost of that investment. So again, this advised ways of working. I already touched on some of these parts, but samples definitely key here. Generous commission for over 10%. But whatever makes sense for your brand. If you're selling something very expensive, then you don't need to offer 10%. You may be able to offer 3%. You just offer something sensible but competitive at the same time, and negotiate on an influencer by influencer basis. Definitely offer a salary for long-term support for influencers you think could be really helpful for your brand in the long term. Scaling up, so it's a case of working with more of these types of partners. You can track all their performance for a network or SaaS. And like I mentioned, their tips, dedicated program just basically means having a program where they work as an ambassador on a long-term basis. So on to editorial. So if we look at the marketing funnel, similar to influencers, introduce a brand to their audience. They can write informative articles at the think stage. And they can promote sales on new products. They can even be given voucher codes or incentives that they can then feature in an article to help drive conversion. And then in terms of loyalty, they can continuously cover a brand. So budget-wise, they often work on a commission basis. What I recommend is to try and get in touch with editorial teams, offer a generous commission, but also offer samples. Also send them press releases for new products. Just try and always give them something to speak about. There's no guarantee that you'll get coverage, but if you do get coverage, for example, I've had a client featured on the front page of the Mail Online and on other press and editorial partners, and that was just through sending a press release, offering a generous commission and a sample. We didn't actually pay for that. So it is possible to get organic coverage on a performance basis, which can be very valuable if you're an SME or a smaller brand. Scale, again, make sure you work with a diverse amount of publications. Tracking, again, trackable via network or SaaS or even a Google UTM link. And tips, basically, you just got to excite them. When you're pitching or briefing in something, try and think about what's going to get these editors excited, what's relevant for their audience, and go with that. So the press will work very similarly to editorial. The funnel is more or less the same. Obviously, press generally have much, much higher reach. Brand awareness, again, can introduce to the readership. They can write articles at the think stage. Again, they could be given an incentive to cover. And obviously, continuous press coverage can help instill loyalty by getting people to constantly think about your brand and then to go and purchase it. It makes it desirable. So it's similar to editorial. Sponsored articles are often always prepay. So there's definitely a pay upfront element to work with the press, as you'd expect, given they're so big. However, you can get that same organic coverage I mentioned on editorial from the press if you can excite the editorial teams enough through samples and a really good press release and a really good commission. A little trick for press, also applicable to editorial, is there are certain partner types on an affiliate network called a sub-network. You can tell sub-networks that you only want to work through bloggers, editorials, and press, so none of their voucher partners will be allowed to promote you. And what you can do is, when you work with a sub-network, it allows these press and editorial partners to monetize when they write about you. And they basically work with sub-networks because the sub-networks make it easier for them to talk about 100 brands without having to have direct relationships with 100 brands. So what the sub-network does for a press or editorial partner is say, okay, we, the sub-network, are going to work with these 100 brands, and you only need to work with us to be able to monetize content about those brands. So given press and editorial only want to ever focus on writing content, they'll work with sub-networks just to make it easier for them to monetize things. So yeah, definitely get involved with sub-networks. You want to work with what are called their content-only affiliate IDs. If you query that with your network, or if you have an account manager at a SaaS platform, well, certainly send me an email and I can explain more about how you go about doing that. Tracking, again, UTM, network, SaaS, and then tips, again, similar to editorial, but offer a generous CPA and constantly keep pitching in exciting developments. Verification. So what verification means is an affiliate can verify someone's passport or the student ID or another form of documentation and basically say, hey, yes, you're in the armed forces, or yes, you're a student. And then as a brand, you can lock special discounts or other things behind that. So if you only want to offer students a particular discount through a verification partner, they will allow you to facilitate and do this, and on a cost per acquisition basis. So some of these verification partners have dedicated their own audiences outright, so they can do discovery at brand awareness. Some of them have editorial teams who can do a blog and social media posts and whatnot that can help with education. Where they're strongest is definitely with the purchasing, and they can help create loyalty as well, because a student who's used to student discount may opt to purchase from one brand repeatedly versus a brand that's not offering a student discount. So various ways of working. Some partners may charge an integration fee or a verification fee. My advice is to try and never pay those and to leverage against that. Get a few quotes from a few different providers, and they should be able to offer everything on a CPA basis, as far as I'm concerned, or that's certainly my experience. But it really depends on the size of the brand. Larger brands have more leverage. But it's worth a try. At least try and say, actually, can we not pay for verification or for integration? Can we just pay on performance? And see what they say. So yeah, scale. So you typically only want to work with one provider. They typically want you to work on an exclusive basis. You can work with more than one provider. I don't see why not. But some of them can be quite sensitive about it because they only want one brand to work with them. But from a brand perspective, if one provider of student discount has 50% of students on there, and the other student discount provider is the other 50%, then you want to work with both of them. It makes sense from a brand perspective. So again, ask and just check for any exclusivity clauses. Tracking, so the provider uses their own platform, but they can be plugged into an affiliate network or SaaS. And yeah, tips, just trying to avoid paying for verification and any integration fees. So Google Shopping and CSS. So I've been made aware of a new partner that will outright just do the Google Shopping. And that is, so the results that would usually be displayed by Google from a brand bidding from their own Google Merchant account, they can actually do that for a brand on a performance basis. And they can help mitigate the digital sales tax. And obviously they have access to the CSS discount as well, so the bids go further. So you could actually delegate your whole Google Shopping to certain affiliate partners. Or if not that, then comparison shopping services, the CSS element, there are a few affiliates that will do that as well. Now, benefit of these are they can help you rank on important generic terms, such as if you want to rank on shoe or t-shirt, they can help you appear in the ads there and help drive brand awareness. They can prompt investigation, and then they can help with purchasing. By making someone aware or prompting further investigation, or someone could outright buy through an ad. And again, repurchasing through seeing an ad again in terms of helping with loyalty. So they almost always work purely on a CPA basis. So they soak up the cost per click to bid, and then allow you, the brand, just to pay them on a performance basis. Work with partners that, so in terms of scale, just you want to work with partners that can cover all relevant search engines. So you may want a Google specialist, a Bing specialist, a Yandex, I think it's the Russian search engine. I can't remember the Chinese one, but yeah, there's a particular Chinese search engine that you may want to investigate as well. In terms of tracking, so again, can work through an affiliate network, SaaS or in-house. And again, like I said, for tips, Google are passing on the cost of the digital sales tax to brands. So a CSS partner or having someone actually run Google Shopping for you outright can help you mitigate that, and also just move the channel to more of a performance model. If you don't want to, that's if you don't want to have the cost of a CPC, but it's at your discretion. But then the option is there. So display ads. So brand awareness, again, display the brand on relevant websites, which can help drive brand awareness. And again, can prompt further investigation, a purchase for a display ad. And some of them can do retargeting as well. So you may be able to advise them on, if a customer buys every 3 months, they can keep them in their cookie pool. And then they could, after they've visited the site once, they could know, okay, in 90 days, we'll display ads to this person again. Advised ways of working, so it's going to be run purely on a CPA basis, so you don't have to pay a cost per mil. If you want to push your display to a performance model like that, or a safer model, you're only paying on results. Scale, so you can increase the CPA on offer, which allows them to bid more. And providing that conversion makes sense, then they can keep running the campaign infinitely. But certainly, if conversion is quite strong and you give them a stronger commission, then they could they can increase the bids and get more awareness across more environments for you. So tracking can track via affiliate network. Some of them, often will have their own platform that you can have access to as well. And my tip is at least a 15% commission, just because of the nature of display and the cost the affiliate will incur. So anywhere upwards of 15% should really help them to run a good campaign for you. Shopping discovery. So how they add value, and some of these sites have millions of users every month. They can display your brand to their users. They also have certain packages where they can get you in newsletters or on their homepage. to really help drive brand awareness there. Other than that, your brand will just appear across the site. So if someone searches shoes, the algorithm that they have will determine how brands appear. Now, what you can do is you can actually try and game the system. So if you first join a shopping platform, if you run out as high a CPA as possible, it will encourage the algorithm. It should, in theory, encourage the algorithm to display you, because it's seeing that there's a higher revenue potential there, which it's not guaranteed, but you'd expect that to be a factor in how they've programmed the algorithm. So if you're then able to convert well and offering quite a generous commission, it should make your brand more friendly to the algorithm from the offset, and then that can help you always be displayed and always have a preference towards your brand from the offset. So that's something you could do to help. If not, you can purchase the media packages they have, which aren't available on a CPA basis, but can just certainly help with brand awareness to a relevant audience that that are in the mood for shopping. So some of them can do blog and review features. You can purchase through their platform as well. Obviously, they'll drive traffic to your website for purchase. And avid users of these platforms, it could be a form of loyalty, if they're constantly seeing your brand. So in terms of budget, there may be an onboarding fee. Sometimes this is unavoidable, but you should ask for it to be waived. As I mentioned, offer as high a CPA as possible to help the algorithm show preference towards you. Try and work across as many of these as possible. Tracking again, network, SaaS in-house. And tips. So you can send our editorial teams samples as well to help win complimentary coverage. And I encourage you to do that. Email. So in terms of brand awareness, an email affiliate can target a segmented audience. It may be they've got 1 million email addresses that are relevant to your product or service, and they can send out an email campaign. And they can either do, what I'd recommend is a sequential campaign, introductory email, a follow-up that's probably more educational, and then perhaps an incentive, lastly, for them to buy. You could do that over the space of a few days or whatnot, whatever's sensible. Work with your email provider on a campaign like that, and sequential campaigns likely to yield better results than just sending out one email. So again, that pretty much covers how it can cover all of the funnel. Loyalty, so you could actually work with, say, like a student discount provider, for example, could send an email out on your behalf or in conjunction. So you could, if you wanted to, you could give them access to your email database, and they could send out an email on your behalf. But it's really up to you. I mean, loyalty is not so much of a big thing in terms of affiliate email, given it's something that typically will sit with your brand. But the option's there if you ever want to do that. Advised ways of working. So it's typically always going to be an upfront basis. You can definitely add in a CPA component to help leverage down cost. So if they're going to charge you $2,500 for an email, you could say, okay, I'll give you $1,500 and a 10% commission. You can try and negotiate that way to get your initial cash liability down. Scale. So you can work with different providers that have different audiences. Tracking, again, network, SaaS, in-house. You'll need the partner to feedback on things such as open rate, etc. And like I said on tips, you can leverage a CPA to reduce upfront cost. So referral, we touched on this in slide 1. So in terms of brand awareness, customers can share an offer with their friends. So after someone's purchased something, they can have an option to share a code with their social network or friends. Effectively turns your customers into an affiliate. So they can share it with their friends. That can prompt word of mouth conversation about the brand and why the particular person who's now an advocate of your brand is sharing this code. And then people can purchase through the referral offer, which will often reward the sharer and the friend that they've got to refer. And it's great for loyalty. Gets the person who purchased, gives them like a reason to buy again, whether it's a gift card or a voucher code or whatever it is. Encourages them to buy something else, and then it helps create this link of customers referring their friends, etc. So in terms of ways of working, so some providers can charge an upfront monthly fee. However, there are some providers that work purely on a cost per acquisition basis. In terms of scale, just the better incentive, the better the reason to share. Tracking, the provider often has their own platform, but they can work through affiliate networks often. And just tips, you can offer quite a low CPA because it does sit on your website. It's not necessarily driving you traffic. So if you think about it, the affiliate themselves aren't having to go out there and invest in trying to get users or acquisition or traffic or whatnot. So you don't need to offer them a really attractive commission. You can do in certain circumstances. Maybe they're offering you some extras, but typically you can offer them sub 5%, and that should suffice. So lead generation, so slightly different, whereas the other types we've mentioned are really focused on cost per acquisition. This is all about leads and cost per lead, which is more about driving interest. So you can work in a few ways. Recommend a brand to consumers. So SEO-based lead gen sites are really good at this. You'll have some partners that have something really specific. So let's say for conveyancing, they may have a conveyancingadvice.co.uk, and someone will click on that website, and they could have articles or reviews about you at the education stage. They could then have a lead form built into the website, which sends the leads directly to you as a provider to deal with them. And then you pay at a cost per lead basis. And then if the customers had a good experience with that site, they can use them again and again, which helps generate some sort of loyalty via the partner. So in terms of budget, cost per lead or cost per qualified lead, and those are based on what your criteria are. Scale, so again, diversify your mix. I think SEO lead providers are really strong. Do you get a good mix of those with social lead providers and email lead providers, then you're in a really good position. Tracking, so again, going through a network or SaaS, and then tips. So, ideal scenario is you want to get all your partners working on a cost per qualified lead. So that's a lead you've been able to monetize. What you should do is offer a really generous cost per qualified lead rate and a much lower cost per lead rate, given a lead itself is less valuable than a qualified lead or lead you're able to qualify. So on-site conversion. So what these partners do is they basically sit on your website, often in the form of an overlay or some sort of interaction at the checkout stage. And they can either be prompted when a customer is navigating to exit the site with items in their basket. So the overlay will pop up if they navigate to the X and say, hey, don't leave our website. Here's an incentive, or here's a reason to keep on shopping. Or at the checkout stage, how we've utilized them, I recommend my clients to utilize them, is to say, okay, you've got $50 worth of items in your basket. If you spend an extra $20, we'll give you $5 off or whatever it may be. So then we can get them spending $65 instead of $50, and it's only cost us $5. So it makes sense, really. You're able to get $15 worth of extra value. So they're really strong at the do stage. Persuade the customer to purchase, or you can persuade the customer to upsell. They can work on a commission-only basis. Again, you can pay them, if I just jump to tips, you can pay them a really low CPA, given it just sits on your website. You can pay them less than 5%. And, in terms of scale, an attractive incentive. So one of the ones I've recommended clients use and has worked really well is if a customer spends £10 or dollars more, then they get access to, let's say, 5% off, whatever it may be. And given it such a small amount for the customer to spend, they often spend beyond the 10. So they may spend 15 or 20, but even if they do spend a 10, it means that this partner is constantly adding an incremental value, and there's a clear purpose for them to be on the brand's website. And it's just a good way of just driving higher AOV across the board. So on to apps. So how do apps add value? So again, you can introduce the brand to their users, review, and other features that they can do within the app. Encourage users to purchase, drive traffic to the website to complete a purchase. And if someone's frequently using the app and frequently seeing the brand, that can help with loyalty. So in terms of the budget, it really depends on the partner. Hybrid CPA is probably what you're going to encounter the most. That means there's an upfront fee plus a commission basis. Now, there's some really cool apps out there. So there are some apps that say reward users for walking or fitness or whatever it may be. If you're a brand that's in that space, it just makes a lot of sense for you to partner up with that app because they've got a relevant audience that are constantly using that app themselves. And for some brands who can't afford an app, or for brands that do have their own app, it's a good way to get more coverage over the app ecosystem. So again, if you're a sports and fitness brand and you work with the top 10 sports and fitness apps, then you're going to have a commanding amount of brand awareness and potential conversions just from being able to do that versus just having your own app and having to compete with other brands and other independent fitness apps on the App Store. So tracking, the partner of their own platform, you want to ask your network or SaaS if they have app-specific tracking. Tracking can die between the app visit to the website visit, which can obviously makes it a bit pointless for apps to work on an affiliate basis or with brands for an affiliate network or SaaS. So make sure they have a tracking solution for apps. Loyalty and staff discount providers. So again, can introduce a brand to their audience, and all these do is they offer points when you purchase. American Express, for example, you get Amex points when you use your card and purchase. And staff discount providers are providers that come into a brand and say, "I reward your staff with some incentives to increase morale or encourage them to work with you, or something that other brands in the space aren't offering employees, which makes you more competitive." So you can actually work with these providers directly on your affiliate program. What you want to do is work with providers that have a relevant audience. So if you're, I used fitness, for example, again, if you're a fitness brand and there's a staff discount provider that has 10 fitness brands that they work with, then it just makes sense for you to work with them because then you can target those employees directly. So they can introduce your brand to the audience of employees they have on the system. They can do review pieces, purchase for an incentive. And again, repurchase quite key because if staff are constantly using the staff discount portal or they're constantly using their Nectar card or their Amex to make purchases, then it makes a lot of sense for your brand to be offering something via those providers. So some providers may require an integration fee or an upfront fee, but they can often work on a commission basis. Scale, work with as many relevant providers as possible. And in terms of tips, your brand can get lost amongst some of these providers, especially the staff discount providers. You could just be another name among thousands of others. So actually investing in some sort of homepage or newsletter is recommended. Now on to vouchers. So a general voucher site. So generally speaking, a voucher site will introduce a brand to the audience. They will have an audience and they can introduce you. The assumption that a consumer already has something in the basket and is just looking for a voucher code to purchase isn't always true. People do just visit voucher sites to discover and browse around for new offers. So don't discount that. So they can introduce, some of them do blog and other features. And they're very strong at the purchase section, and it can help with repurchasing as well. So one thing to note is the majority of all of the advertisements, so their homepage or their newsletter features that they have, which can reach, which have the highest potential to reach new customers, you can negotiate for those on a cost per acquisition basis. There is often an upfront fee required, but you can offer a really high commission to leverage down any upfront fees if you don't want to invest in upfront fees. Scale, so work with relevant partners across relevant markets, invest in awareness-led advertisements. So one of the times that voucher sites are very useful in terms of brand awareness is around Black Friday or Christmas or any sort of key retail sales period. That's when consumers are frequenting those websites looking for the best offers. It's a great time to introduce your brand to new customers and to drive conversions. So even if ordinarily you wouldn't have wanted to work with voucher sites, you could work with them, strategically. You could start to invest in Black Friday packages strategically, and then maybe that you just want to go quiet and not work with them pretty much for the rest of the year. That's fine, but they have a purpose and a time that they can be advantageous to work with for sure. And the last tip from me here is to use upsell or value-added incentives. Don't just offer X% off. That way, at least the voucher site are encouraging customers to spend more money and they're driving a form of incremental value for your business. So tracking, work with network or SaaS, and yeah, tips, as I said, upselling, and then leverage them over key periods. So voucher PPC, now, all this is when you allow a voucher site to bid on certain terms. So it could be, let's say you've got a brand called shoes.com. Shoes.com may not have any sales or an outlet or anything like that. So they may say to a voucher site, actually, we're going to give you a voucher code, and we're actually going to allow you to satisfy people that query for an incentive. So if someone types in shoes.com voucher code, that's when this affiliate would appear. They would have an ad saying, "Hey, we've got a discount for this brand, and you can visit us to use this discount to go and make a purchase." It's you don't really want to have your own brand appearing and an affiliate appearing as well. And some brands that don't want to offer any, they don't want to give the perception that they're discounting. You can get an affiliate to operate across those kinds of keywords, because at least then people are always going to search for some sort of incentive. There's always going to be a section of your audience that wants an incentive to purchase, and you can satisfy them and give them what they need to go and purchase. It's better that than they go and purchase from a consumer or they don't purchase. And this is also a good way of you controlling what offer is at the top of the search engine results page. So if there are other websites that are promoting false offers or expired offers, and that's becoming a real problem for you, you can get a trusted affiliate to appear at the very top, and that way the majority of consumers should gravitate towards that top result, as opposed to engaging with any other partners that could give them a negative experience, such as giving them a code that doesn't work, which frustrates them at the checkout process. So specialists are, just think of these as a student discount providers or military discount providers. They're just voucher sites that specialize in a particular audience or group. So again, they can introduce your brand to their audience. They'll often have media packages that you can purchase, such as for their homepage or their newsletter. They often write blog features. Obviously, you can purchase for an incentive. And you want to work with a diverse mix of these specialists so that you cater for military, for students, for nurses, for key workers, whatever it may be. Definitely look at working with these specialists to specifically ensure your brand caters for certain groups. You can actually use vouchers in store as well. So if you actually want to drive footfall to a store, you can have a promotion on the in-store section of a voucher site. And that can help introduce people to your brand, get them in store. At the education stage, there could be a blog post or something written about the offer or whatever you have going on in store. There may be a new product launch that's only available in store, and you want to get people there. You don't just have to use voucher sites for e-commerce online transactions. You can use them to go from online to offline as well. Onto cashback then. So generally speaking, what all cashback is the commission that you offer to the affiliate. That affiliate passes that on to the customer in the form of cashback. So let's say a customer buys something worth £100 via a cashback site, and the commission rate is 10%. The cashback site would give the customer either 100%, which would be the £10, or it typically varies from 50 to 100. In the United Kingdom, it's more common to give the customer, 100% of the cashback. So that would be the full £10 in that example. But in other countries, it's more common to give them half. Say, so of that 10% commission, the affiliate would keep £5 and the customer would get £5. So you need to factor that in when you're working with different cashback sites and ask them how much cashback they actually give to the consumer, because then that's going to, if you want to give to consumers, if you want all your consumers to get that 10% rate, then maybe that for some cashback sites you have to offer a 20% rate, or you may not want to work with sites that don't give the consumer 100%. So cashback sites used by millions of people can definitely introduce your brand to new audiences. Again, similar to voucher sites, very important over key retail periods when they're crawling with new customers. Education, so again, they can write blogs or other features. Obviously, purchasing is very strong in terms of cashback. What I advise in terms of tips is that you have a tiered cashback model. So if you're targeting a $100 average order value, you could offer 1% cashback on all spend from $1 to $99. But then you could offer 5% cashback once a customer spends over 100. So you don't have to offer a flat rate. You can offer a tiered rate, which rewards customers for spending more money. You could also pair that with an upsell code. So if you want to really persuade people to spend $100, you could offer a higher cashback rate, 5%, and then say, you can get, I don't know, $5 off when you spend over 100. It gives someone a double incentive to spend that $100. And, that tiered model helps encourage customers to spend more money, and their voucher code is upselling. So, the whole process is incremental. And actually maybe more efficient, because if customers are typically spending $60, then even if you give them $5 off and they spend 100 in that example, you're getting $95 worth of value. Then by the time you take off the commissions and whatnot and any other fees, you're probably still getting a decent size of incremental basket value from that transaction. So Scale is working across a variety of partners that can serve different audiences. And then, you can again, offering increased cashback for increased spend in terms of tips, and pairing cashback with upsell incentives. So a cashback specialist, similar to a voucher specialist, some cashback sites focus on parents who want you basically operate the cashback site as a savings account for their children. So where the cashback is stored in an account with the child's name, and when they're 18 or whatever it is, they can access all the cashback. So all the parents' purchases are helping the child to build up their savings. There are charitable cashback sites where any cashback you earn gets given to a charitable cause. And again, it works exactly the same way as a cashback general. It's just that they have more of a specialist approach. So if you're a brand, for example, that is quite mindful of certain causes, then working with charitable cashback partners could be a great way for you to support those causes as well. So cashback, again, similar to vouchers, it can be in-store and card-linked. So card-linked just means that the person, whenever they spend at certain stores, receives cashback, and in-store is, again, works the same way. The card is linked, and whenever the person purchases, they pay cashback to their account. So again, that can really help with driving a certain footfall, but also it's really good for loyalty. Once someone's card is linked and your brand's paying them cashback to make a purchase, it really encourages them to keep buying from you and not to try or buy from a competitor that isn't offering cashback. And cashback toolbar. So these are partners where on the consumer's browser, the cashback site has an extension, and that extension can basically say to them, hey, this site pays cashback, this site doesn't pay cashback. In some instances, you can do competitor targeting, where if someone's on your competitor site and you're offering more cashback, you can work with the cashback partner for them to display a message via toolbar to say, hey, did you know that this other brand is paying even more cashback when you purchase from them? So there are some really strategic ways you can work with these guys. Not every brand's a fan of toolbars, because it may cannibalize sales that were going to happen anyway. That's where using a tiered cashback model can really help, because it rewards customers that spend more money and encourages them to do so in future. And customers that aren't going to spend more money can either get no cashback or a very small amount, and it can encourage those customers to spend up and try, and add more items to their basket, so they can start to get a good amount of cashback. So in closing, really, I hope that has explained why a holistic approach it's really the only way to do affiliate marketing and get it to work. You shouldn't just have a one-dimensional program that's focused on vouchers, or just focused on bloggers, or just focused on one thing. There's so much depth to affiliates, and there's a wealth of affiliates out there that can help drive and create value for your brand. So I'm just reiterating this holistic approach and how it can service your entire marketing funnel. And I certainly encourage you to only do affiliate marketing on this basis. Thanks for watching. Please like, share to help someone else, and subscribe to help me make more free content. And you can always comment, email me if you need any more help. Thanks for watching.